Hello AQA students, we're in paper 1 and paper 2, specifically within the data response part, section A, and we're focusing now on the 9-mark question. This 9-marker is extremely narrow. It's a lovely short essay, quite an easy essay for you guys to write. It will say, with the help of a diagram, explain something. So you can see that this is a diagram-based explain question. That's what makes it quite different to the 15-marker in section B, which is more open, more broad. This is extremely narrow. So it's an explain question using a diagram. So after your diagram, you're going to need to show depth of analysis using chains of analysis. There is no, on the other hand, no counter-argument needed, no evaluation needed. Generally speaking, there is a caveat there, but generally speaking, no evaluation and no final judgment. This is purely an explain question. Testing, yes, definitions of key terms, your basic knowledge if relevant, testing your diagram knowledge, testing your depth of analysis, linking to a diagram. That's it. In terms of time management, you're looking at only 12 minutes to write this. It's a very short essay. In terms of quantity, somewhere between half a page and a page, depending on the size of your diagram, depending on how much depth there is in your analysis. It's a short essay. In terms of how to write this essay, your structure, start by defining key terms that are in the question. If there are any. If there aren't any, just skip this step. But if there are key terms, define those. Then get your diagram in. The diagram is at the heart of this essay. So draw the diagram early, nice and big with a ruler, make sure it's fully labeled, make sure it's accurate, and make sure you're applying on the diagram too. So in micro, price of cigarettes, quantity of cigarettes. In macro, price level India, real GDP India, or price level UK, real GDP UK. So if you can apply and put some examples on the diagram, do so. But yeah, get your diagram in nice and big, and then underneath the diagram you're looking for one very detailed analysis paragraph where yes, you need depth of analysis. This is crucial, using chains of reasoning. So anything and everything on that diagram that is relevant to answering that question, you need to explain in depth. So if it's a shift of a curve, explain why that shift has occurred. If it's a process of things happening on the diagram, go through that process in lots of detail. If you've annotated areas that are relevant to answering that question, explain why those areas are relevant, how those areas have occurred. Just explain everything that is relevant on the diagram to help you answer that question. That's going to be your depth of analysis there. You need real-world examples integrated within this paragraph. That's very easy. You can use the extracts for that, quote the extracts to back up what you're saying for real-world examples. And of course you need to refer to the diagram. So refer to shifts D1 to D2, S1 to S2, AD1 to AD2. If you've annotated areas, refer to them. If it's going through a process of how something works, link to key points on the diagram. Use the diagram well. That's what this question is all about. Now, we said, generally speaking, you don't need to evaluate on a 9-marker. It's an explain question. But look out for words like might, like may, maybe other words that are conditional, other words that are not definite. These words are not definite, are they? Explain how something may occur, explain how something might occur, explain how this could lead to something. These are not definite words, so you can latch on to these words, and then a sentence or 2 or 3 of evaluation could be useful. A few sentences just saying maybe what your answer is conditional on is smart. So maybe, actually, whether whatever you said is going to occur depends on price elasticity of demand or price elasticity of supply, right? For diagram-based questions, that's a very common way to evaluate whatever effect that you said. Whether a weak exchange rate is actually going to boost AD, whether it's going to be inflationary, whether it's going to improve a country's current account balance, depends on the Marshall-Lerner condition. So a few sentences of evaluation might be necessary if you see words that are not definite, like might, like may, like could, words like that. Latch onto those if you see them, and you can evaluate very briefly. Otherwise, that's how you do a 9-marker. It's very simple, it's very basic, it's not there to test you massively. Get your 9 marks and move on to the next question. Thanks guys for watching. Let's tackle the 25-marker next.